is going to ask us to write a numerical expression to represent the phrase. So we have here the product. So product means the answer to a multiplication problem. So the product of 5, so here's our first number, and the sum of 3 and 6. So this one is telling us that we want to add 3 and 6 first. We want the sum of 3 and 6 to multiply by 5. So go ahead and see if you can write out the expression for this problem and then come back and check with me. So go ahead and pause the video and do that. So I know I want the sum of 3 and 6 first. So I need to add these together. And since I want to do them first, we need parentheses on those. And then we're going to times that by 5. And if you remember, when I am giving the 5 to the 3 and the 6 together, I can just stick it out in front of that group. And when there's no symbol, it means to multiply. So let's look at a very similar problem that has the same numbers, very similar words, and how it might be different. So this one just says the product of 5 and 3 plus 6. So go ahead and see if you can write that one out and see how is it different from the one above. So this one is telling me to do the product of 5 and 3. So that one just means 5 times 3 plus 6. So we can see a big difference here is that word sum. When we have that word sum in there, it means it wants us to find a total of our adding first. If it just says to plus 6, then we're just doing that after the fact. So on this problem, we would do 5 times 3 first, which is 15, and then add 6. Up here, we would do 3 plus 6 first, which is the sum of 9, and then multiply by 5. So you've got to pay attention to those little key words that tell you, are you making a total here? Or are you just adding on 6 more? So let's look at one more here. So this one says to do the difference of 7 and 4. So go ahead and see if you can write an expression for the difference of 7 and 4. So difference means to subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3 if we were solving that. So let's look at a very similar problem here. So this one says the difference of the square of 7 and 4. The difference of the square of 7 and 4. So if you remember, square means that we are going to put the exponent 2, because once you found it one way, you would just make it perfectly the other, and it would make a square, an array square. So the difference of the square of 7 and 4. So I still need that difference of 7 and 4. So 7 and 4. And if we want to do that first, we need to put parentheses around it. And then we'll find the square of that. So if we were doing this one, so this one ended up equaling 3. So 7 minus 4 is 3. But then if we square it, 3 times 3 equals 9. So 9 makes a perfect square. 3 this way, ends up with a perfect square with 9 in it. So the difference of the square of 7 and 4. So we had to subtract first, put those parentheses, then add our square outside of that. So go ahead and try task 2 here. So task 2 is going to tell us to think about this product of 7 and the sum of 5 and 4. So select all that are true there. Select an expression that matches the difference of 9 and 3. And then select the difference, the square of the difference of 9 and 3. So go ahead and try each of those.